before we get out of here, I want to talk to you about, you dropped the work on your Discord. A lot of good stuff in there. People asking in the comments always about signing up for the Discord. Make sure that you tell them where to go and how to find it. There's a link right there.
Just drop the link right there. Yeah.
Yep. And there's a lot of stuff happening. Penn State, a little shakeup there. First thing when a coach of a major program leaves or gets fired or whatever, you go to the commitment list and you see what you like. And not just fans, but teams do that as well. So what are you hearing on that front?
Yeah, there was a D-line offer that went out, yesterday afternoon. Isaac Chukwura from Delaware, actually, verified 6'2", 265. This immediately was someone that Miami was very excited about watching the film. The D-line department there has done, I think, and you can back me up on this, I think has done a really good job with some of these like evaluations that have happened mid-season. I think same thing with like a Logan Nagel, who I mentioned him in the report to Logan Nagel, a guy that we've talked about a lot, has been down to Miami, as he told me a few weeks back. I think it was USF game that he was here for, and I just wonder, like, a guy like Chukwura coming into the mix now, what does that mean for someone like Nagel? Because Nagel's had an opportunity to commit now for a while. Obviously, he's committed to Pitt right now, but they're a big fan of this body type right here, D.
Delaware, I think back to Orion Harris, who it's before your time, but somebody who, a 5-star that Miami picked up from this area. Yeah, he can move. Great lateral quickness. You could tell right off the top. I have his basketball highlights loaded, so I'm going to go to those. Good body type. You mentioned the long arms, 265 verified, but he's going to gain weight. Very twitchy, man. When I think about Penn State, I think about defensive freaks. Look at what Penn State's done over the years. I mean, obviously Micah Parsons, Abdul Carter. Then you talk about, they got Denny Sutton this year, who's good. Zane Durant, Florida guy, who's very explosive and talented, will play in the NFL. So Penn State does this. Feels like every single year. Yetur Gross Matos. I pulled up the stat that in the last 8 years, since 2018, so not even the 8 years, since 2018, James Franklin's produced 8 first-rounders and 10 second-rounders, just since 2018 alone. So, I mean, that's what he's doing as far as identifying talent. He's one of the best evaluators in the country, and this is somebody he evaluated. When you watch the film, yeah, the competition's a little light. We've gotten guys from Delaware that have produced at this position, so that's nothing new. But, yeah, the size, the length, the twitchiness, I like what I'm seeing. I don't know what you're seeing, Pete.
Yeah, there was a kid on the West Coast, D, that Miami offered maybe like a month plus ago, that he reminds me of this kid that kind of had an interesting build. But you remember who I'm talking about? I can't remember his name. He had a huge, he was committed to like a smaller school, and at Arizona State offered, a bunch of schools offered, but he kind of reminds me of him.
Yeah, from California.
Yeah, from Cali.
This guy might be a little bit. This guy's verified.
Van Spafford's teammate.
Right.
But I agree with you. The measurables here are better on from a verified standpoint. And just another nugget, they're trying to get him down here for the Stanford game. He told me yesterday that he is not sure yet what he's going to do. He said he hasn't made any plans. I think the kid's just trying to process, Franklin's hiring and what's going on over there. But yeah,
he gets
nice.
off the ball fast.
No, I was told, man, that they think, like, they were like, go watch this kid, like he's got it. So I think this guy has immediately moved into that mix, D. And again, the reason I brought up Logan Nagel is they kind of play a similar role, right? I just think that you start to bring other guys into the equation, and then spots fill up.
Yeah, Logan Nagel, Pittsburgh commit, so trying to get into that Pennsylvania. And look, people say Pittsburgh's been producing guys. Penn State's been producing guys. You're talking about two, in my view, of the top evaluation schools in America when it comes at least to defensive linemen and defensive players in general. Kevin Dennis mentioned Chop Robinson, who I hadn't even talked about, but was definitely a major dude. So, yeah, it's the type of programs you want to be jumping on their commit list, because they just know what it looks like. They have a good track record there, and then you watch the film, and it just looks like guys they've had in the past. I wanted to watch this, and I haven't seen it yet, so let's see. Hopefully he's good. But this is a double-double here. Let's see what it looks like on the court, Pete. Oh, nice post. Wait, here we go. Maybe the touch around the basket could use some work, but he's getting the rebounds. This is how you get double. You keep getting your own. You keep getting your own boards.
Yeah, nice flexibility, I guess, bending all the way down there and grabbing the ball.
Let's see. Yeah, he's only 6'2", so he's not the tallest guy. There you go.
Good box out.
Yeah, he's moving. He doesn't look that big. Yeah. I like the fact that he's verified, because if I'm looking at this, I'm wondering how big he is. I think the other guys might be big. You said he's verified, confirmed 6'2", 265, right?
Yeah, and remember, this was last. This is last basketball season, so a year ago almost, right? So
yeah.
So you know how these guys grow, but yeah,
nice
they're saying verified.
19 points, 11 boards, 2 steals, and a block. So he's producing.
John Z, to me, the comment of the year right here. He says he has the Angel Reese game.
19 points though. He's got a nice post game
and 11 boards. Yeah.
Yeah. He was. I mean, you saw he had some footwork in there. They look like LP. Yeah. JD Hill is who we're thinking of. Brandon, good memory, man.
JD Hill, yes, good call, Brandon. I think he's maybe an inch or two taller than JD Hill.
All right, we got a great question from Marcus White, which I'm very happy to answer. Coming down for the Stanford game from Nashville. Appreciate that. Glad you could support the team and hope you're having a good time. Where's the best place to post up from Hard Rock, and what time do you have to leave by due to traffic? So it's a night game, right? So it kind of depends when you're here. But the earlier, the better to get to that side, because it's going to be Friday. It's going to be rush hour. So as you get closer to that 7 o'clock kick, it's Miami rush hour. So forget the game. People are just going back from work, which you don't see on a Saturday as much. What I would recommend, this is what we're going to be doing, is basically from 12 to 7, we are going to be right there. You see the scroll at the bottom at the Licking Miami Gardens, which we've been done for every home game. The Licking is 5 minutes tops, and it's literally a straight line from the Hard Rock Stadium. Very easy to get there. And if you go to what I would say, and this is what we do ourselves, but we recommend people to do for a night game like this, especially Friday where you got rush hour. Or sorry, this is Stanford. So this would be a Saturday. I apologize. But this goes for Louisville as well, which is a Friday, which we're going to be at. But you'll be at the Stanford game. But Louisville will be that Licking too. Night game. So same concept. If you go to the Licking, the top, Southern food, soul food restaurant in that area, hands down, just unbelievable. We eat it on the show. It's hard for us to do the show sometimes because we're just ordering and grubbing. Lamb chops, fried broccoli, collard greens, you name it, man. We're slamming it. Kids are having the chicken and waffles. Food's great. All the TVs are on, so you can watch whatever game you want to see. Service is incredible. There's an open bar, full drink. So what I recommend, get there earlier to eat. Let the traffic build up outside, because once you're in Miami Gardens, you don't have to worry about the traffic, and then head straight to the stadium. So that's where I would be on that one, Marcus White. But Pete, I cut you off on the work, so
I'll run through it real quick because I know you have to hop off here in a second. Dre Quinn, former Clemson commit, who Jason Taylor visited last week at Buford. The expectation is that he will be visiting Coral Gables next weekend for the Stanford game. So that's a huge development there potentially, D, just because, Miami thinks there's some good momentum. Having seen him last week, there's a connection between Jason Taylor and Quinn's trainer that I'm aware of. And, when a guy has some urgency to set up a visit, and that's what he's shown now, I think that's a great sign. So I think that there's some good momentum on that one. Interesting note here, D. We heard earlier in the season that Florida State was trying to make a move on Ashari Charles. He had actually set up a visit to go see them for the Bama game, I believe. Jason Taylor cut that off like pretty much right away. He shut down the recruitment. Alabama, within the last few weeks, tried to do something similar, and they tried to kind of reignite some interest there. He pretty much shut that down. Not pretty much. He shut that down. He's locked in with Miami. But just goes to show you how strong of a year Ashari Charles is having, that these schools continue to try to make their move at him.
No, he is a real player. Pass rushers are extremely valuable, as you know, Pete, and that's a good one. Productive, powerful, explosive. So Miami's got to hold on. Ethiopia can't appreciate you saying, I'm curious about Tony Rojas, the linebacker at Penn State. I know Miami wanted him a few years back. You did as well. He's a stud. They'll try. I don't know if he jumps in the portal. I don't know. Miami's trying to win championships, and obviously they're not dealing with kids that are not in the portal. But if he does jump in the portal, I'd imagine he's the type of guy would be after. Marcus, shout out to your son on his first Canes game. Great time to get to your first Canes game. And if anyone wants to sign up and potentially win, Malachi and CJ Daniels signed football, top of other benefits. Remember, sign up for the Miami HTS. That's the Hurricane Team Store, Miami HTS mailing list right there. No charge. You get 15% off your first order. Also, you have promo code INSIGHT20 for 20% off an order as well. So you got plenty of options to get the discounts. And you can just go to the store. They're located across the street from the University of Miami in person. But if you're not in person, Miami HTS. If you sign up for the mailing list, you get the first word on all kinds of new stuff. So you'll always be rocking the new gear and all kinds of exclusive deals, etc. at MiamiHTS.com.
So a couple more things here, D, before I wrap it up. Sorry, I had a few more notes here.
Give it to him.
D-line wise, everyone wants to know about Tank Jones, Nolan Wilson, Bryce Perry Wright. I reported in the Discord weeks ago that Miami was still involved there, and as you've talked about, they're certainly still in the mix. A&M hasn't given him reasons to flip at this point, obviously, but they're around there, obviously teammates with Dre Quinn, but. With Nolan Wilson, there's a chance he visits next weekend again for Stanford, so that would be a return, second trip for him this year, and obviously he's done this season, I should say, and he's had some other trips to Miami as well. I see someone asking for the link of the Discord. I'll drop it again here for you guys. But Tank Jones, obviously we've been talking about that one a lot. The line of communication is very much open there and has been very good. Like there hasn't been anything that says that he's not still open to a move to Miami. But Oregon again has had a strong year. Obviously lost last week, but they're in a strong place as a program. And I think something to watch there. D, we talk about it with guys like earlier in the cycle, Tristan Keys with Adidas. Coming into play, there could be a Nike situation there with him in terms of NIL as well. So something to watch there. So, something popped up there last year with Elijah Rushing, 5-star edge that I think helped secure his commitment last year. So we'll see, how that one plays out. Oregon does not want to lose a 5-star defensive lineman. But Miami's pushing hard there, man. And I think we both thought for a while that there was a decent chance of that happening. And I still think there is. Jamar Owens, safety. You reported yesterday he'd be visiting this weekend, and I've heard that things continue to trend pretty good there for Miami. Indiana commit, but Miami has given him a lot to think about. Atlanta area kid. He has some ties here with Jontavius Wyman and Cortez Redding, right? So there's some good traction there. And then Blake Stewart, you mentioned him as well yesterday. Few weeks back, he was still kind of resistant to a flip, but I think he's opened up now, D, with Clemson's season going the way it is, with the way Miami's continued to recruit him. So some good movement there, I think, at the safety spot.
Hearing the same thing on Blake Stewart. Keep chipping away. Pete, post that Discord link there in the comments because we had a lot of questions. People wanting to sign up for that work Discord with Peter Ariz. And yeah, man, a lot of good news, and I think that's going to keep getting better and better.
And I have one last thing to talk about here, D, before we wrap the show. Almost 3,000 on. Awesome support here on a Wednesday. And again, we'll be going live this afternoon as well. But we talk so much about O-line play, here at the University of Miami, and the origin of it at Columbus, right? And you can't tell that story without Coach Fred Foyo. He was the offensive line coach for Mario Cristoball and Alex Mirabal back in their playing days. And obviously those two are doing what they're doing at Miami now, where the O-line has become best unit on the field in the country. The toughness, discipline, love for the game all traces back to Coach Foyo. Coach Foyo was not just about football. He loved his community. He loved the Canes. There's a reason why this event that I'm talking about here is on a Saturday happening on a Friday here, because you have the game going on. You can watch the game out here at the event. This is the Fred Foyo Brew Fest this Friday, October 18th, from 6 to 10 p.m. at Columbus. It's a family-friendly event, live music, food, kids' activities, unlimited beer and bites. and hundreds of explorers across generations. Tickets are $40 for adults, all you can eat and drink, $10 for kids in true Coach Foyle fashion. Adding some fun this year. Show up in a lederhosen. You get 50% off admission, and you get there's also a best dress competition. Winners taking home 2 Delta Airlines vouchers. So come celebrate a great man, a great community, and one of the fastest growing alumni events at Columbus. Again, man, this guy was a legend, and he led the way for guys like Mario and Alex Mirabal. So great event. We talked about this, promoted it last year as well. I was out there last year. So get out there, man. Support a great cause.
And you get to use the lederhosen in your closet there, Pete.
Yes.
You're waiting to rock it.
Exactly.
Awesome, man. Well, great show today. And it's just the first one. We got another show coming up with Mike Ryan here at 2 p.m. I'm going to head out to the scrimmage now, watch our Canes play some baseball. And, man, really fun show. Appreciate all you guys for supporting. Remember to like and subscribe. Go Canes.
Go Canes.